got that big receiver out there.
Yeah, that was fun. Fun way to end the half. Throwing it up to Trey, and he made a really good play on the ball. And just the ability to be aggressive when you have a good athlete like that on the outside. So that was a big moment for us as well. But we've got a lot of stuff to still get better at. And that's kind of the message that we gave our kids this week is we're trying to win in October and November, and that happens with the way that you prepare right now.
People may look at Goshen's record, but when you start off with New Prairie and Fairfield and even Wawasee, they're starting to get better at the right time.
Yeah, they are, and Tom has been around for a long time. He's a really good football coach. They've got some good players. They're just really thin. They got a lot of guys that have to play both ways, and because of that, they've been in games for the first half and then just kind of worn down in the second half. So we've talked to our kids. I think their quarterback and their running back are really good football players. They've got a lineman that's going to Ball State. So they've got some players.
Yeah, you look at Elliott on tape, and he scores a touchdown, but he also gets 10 tackles. And you've got some kids like that, too, who are performers, who are just doing their job. When people come out here Friday night at Steele Stadium, I know you're going to be excited to have that home crowd, but also excited to get some kids who have now gotten some experience 3 games in who can maybe feel comfortable and just be themselves.
Yeah, I think we're starting to figure out where people belong. It took us a few weeks. We've had a different starting lineup all 3 games that we played, and it's not because of injuries, but more because of just trying to figure out what the best unit that we can put on the field is, and some of that's going to change week to week and opponent by opponent.
What's something that you look forward to on game day? Just maybe fans don't even get a chance to see it, but you come to Steele Stadium, here it is, it's time for the game, and this is what you enjoy.
I really like Future Cavemen. It's really neat to see the kids in the end zone before the game, and a lot of those kids are hopefully kids that I'm around long enough to coach in a few years. So that's kind of neat to make that connection and just to see the joy that they have when they see their favorite player in the line. And then just the overall, experience of being at Steele Stadium.
I've caught a couple pictures of you and your dad just sitting up in the stands. I know you don't get much time with you before the game, but those moments got to be special because he's probably the guy who got this in your belly. And I know you guys used to go to games all the time together.
Yeah, so we were usuals at home Jimtown games, but back in those early 90s in the Northern State Conference, there were some long road trips and games that we just didn't feel like wanted to make the trip, so Dad would take me to Rice Field or to Freed Field or to Foreman Field, and we would watch games there. And so I grew up just watching football in the area. I think from the age of being, maybe my first year being 6 years old. I've never missed a state final since then. He took me every year. It's kind of become a fun family tradition. And so it's neat that, he's now the seat saver for a block of people. And so he gets here early, and then we have just those few minutes to visit and him tell me to throw the ball more and that sort of stuff. So
off topic of Mishawaka football, but it is Mishawaka football, the Beef Bash at the end of the month. What could you say to fans to support this cause for Mike Faulkner that's going to happen September 30th? They can buy tickets right now on mishawakaschools.com/beefbash.
Well, just for the simple fact that I think it's going to be a really fun social event, right? Downtown Mishawaka, which Phil Blasco has done a tremendous job building that up and making it a place where people want to go and spend time. So you take that and you take Lake Bed, the band that's kind of bred by School City of Mishawaka employees, and you put that together with just a bunch of people that love Mike Faulkner. And if you knew Mike Faulkner and you love Mike Faulkner, you're probably a good person. So yeah, I hope it's just a lot of good people hanging out, having fun, celebrating the life of someone that meant so much to our place.
All right. Well, good luck this Friday night in Goshen, and then you're going to have Plymouth, and then all of a sudden it gets even more fun with Warsaw and Northwood.
Yeah, we're heading in it, and I told our kids, yesterday, the conference championship's going to be won this month for us. We got 5 conference games in September, right? We're gonna either win it or lose it in this month. We still will have Concord and Wawasee in early October. But we're either going to put ourselves in a position to win the conference this month or we're not, and that's kind of the bottom line.
All right, we appreciate it. And this has been Keith Kinder, the Coach's Show, presented by Southwestern Michigan College.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance.
We're good at Matt's one-car, two-bedroom apartment with a home office/home gym insurance.
We're good at Nick's SUV and farmhouse with a remodeled kitchen/art gallery insurance.
And we're good at the Wilbur suburban home with the two-car garage/rehearsal space insurance.
Have you seen my hockey socks?
Have you checked your sock drawer?
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Emma and Jake's just baby-proof their two-bedroom bungalow to prepare for baby number 1 insurance. We're good at Madeline and Chance's just gave in and became minivan people to make room for baby number 2 insurance. And we're good at Gabby and Nate's just moved to a house with a bigger backyard to welcome fur baby number 3 insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Been true for the class of 78. You know, you're going to the library to find information, you know, using the old card catalogs to find the book and then reading through the book to find your information, to now kids are just able to Google it real quick and they have all of this access to information, and how much more opportunity we have as educators to teach them how to use that information, how to do something with it, rather than just find it and say, put it all together and say, this is what we learned. Now they can actually create and do something with it.
Director of technology, people may think, oh, he's the fix-it guy. You've got to do a little bit of everything. Staying ahead of things, obviously, is a big thing. Making sure the devices work, but people may not realize that every student at Mishawaka has a device that they can take home.
Yeah, every student in Mishawaka schools has a device that they can take home to expand their knowledge behind and their learning experiences really beyond the four walls of the classroom. So we're really excited to be able to have our students have that opportunity. To help support that, we have a service plan. So anything that happens to that device is going to be covered through that service plan without any additional cost to the district or additional cost to the families. So we really try to keep that in the hands of the students as much and as often as possible.
Yeah, and Wi-Fi is so important. Not everybody has that at home.
Right, yeah, we have a lot of our families have internet access at home, but a lot just do not. And some of that's due to financial hardship. Some of it's due to just kind of the place that they live. One of the things we find out is apartment complexes may only offer internet through one thing and just not able to keep up with the modern demands. So we've actually partnered with Citywide Classroom to be able to support over 400 hotspots in the hands of our families for them to be able to continue their learning. You know, parents can use it to do job applications, be able to access books and other information online.
Yeah, a really exciting thing that I've seen is that, boy, back in the day, if you had the teacher saying, okay, Huppert, Dean, are you here? And they would let us know, but my mom didn't know whether or not I made it to school or not, but now they do.
Yeah, we have a new communication platform called Parent Square. So within that first 30 minutes of the school day starting, the parents will get a text notification letting them know that their student was missing from attendance that day or tardy for the day. And then again in the evening, what absences they may have had and any other classes they would miss. So we really try to keep the parents informed. So on top of just attendance, like we're hoping to get all of our parent to teacher communications with direct messaging through this new application. All of our district communications will be going there. We're hoping to get some other of our club communications going through there, just to try to unify where parents go to get their information and to communicate with the schools.
Yeah, well, we're very thankful for the job that you do, not only the devices, but when you look out at the video board, that's it. When we're looking at radio communication and the hookups for the scoreboard, you're doing all of that as well. There's so much happening. Anything else exciting that you want to make sure that our fans know about as they come to the stadium and their kids come to the school?
You know, we have digital citizenship is another really important part of teaching students how to use that information, how to stay safe online, how to keep their passwords secure, how to make positive connections online and even with their peers, and how to learn how to use technology.
Yeah, education is so important. Until you've been hacked or until you lose your bank account,
Hello, Mishawaka fans. This is Superintendent Stevens here to tell you about our Mishawaka Parent Group. The MPG has the purpose of promoting partnerships with parents, teachers, school administration, and the community to enhance the educational environment for Mishawaka schools. Our parent group partners with Mishawaka Athletics to put on elementary sports, and they're always looking for volunteers to help with high school football game concessions. If you'd like to join or volunteer, feel free to email mishawakaparentgroup@gmail.com.
Hey everybody, it's DJ with River Valley Construction Group, Mishawaka grad and sponsor of the athletics. On the screen right now is a QR code that's going to show you how I'm going to give you $750 cash back. River Valley is an award-winning contractor for new homes, additions, and composite decking. To learn more, visit rivervalleycg.com. Go Cavemen!
Community, collaboration, teamwork. This is what local means to TLCU Financial. In our community, everyone plays a part, and we're here to play ours. As a credit union, it's what we do. Welcome to TLCU Financial, and bank like a local.
Hi, I'm Vicki. To become a member, visit us at tlcufinancial.org or stop in at our Mishawaka branch across from John Hill Middle School. Your credit union, your way.
Community.
Let's meet the starting defense for your Mishawaka Cavemen. At defensive tackle, he wears 53, he's a senior, John Cohen. The other defensive tackle, 99, he's a junior, Trey Dunning. At the nose, he wears 33, he's a senior, Keith Scheiko. At one linebacker, 26, he's a junior, Jackson Snyder. Another linebacker, 27, junior, Isaiah Boot. At linebacker, he wears 7, he's a sophomore, Ken Clemente. And the other linebacker, 6, he's a sophomore, Camden Putz. At one corner, he wears 11. He's a senior, Jack Troyer. The other corner, 3s. He's a senior, Trey Thomas. One safety, he wears 0. He's a junior, Brady Newsom. The other safety, he wears 1. He's a sophomore, Jaden Parker. And the head coach of the Cavemen, Mr. Keith Kinder. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here come the marching cavemen. The band is under the direction of Caleb Chamberlain, Mark Roberts, and Isabella Flanagan. The color guard is under the direction of Kaylin Stutzman. Our dance team is led by Sarah Keaton and Lily Schnack. And our drum major is Carly Sanchez. Please join us in welcoming the Goshen Redhawks. Now get on your feet for the Big M and the Mishawaka Fight Song. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats. Tonight, the national anthem will be performed by the MHS Chamber Choir under the direction of Rachel Such. The MHS Chamber Choir. You can follow the MHS Band on Facebook and Instagram. Our Facebook page no longer has a link to Spirit Road, but we're coming back with that this fall. We will see you at halftime when we bring you the music of Foo Fighters. Go Cavemen.
Is over, you cannot get it back. Who can play physically? Down after down after down. Tonight is a game to win. Number 4, play like this. Here we go, boys. Set, go. Good. Come on, Edie. Come on, man. Come on. Handoff. Miller up the back. Touchdown, Mishawaka. 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5, touchdown, touchdown, Mishawaka.
Are you ready?
every opponent the same. It didn't matter if we were playing Triton or if we were playing Bremen or New Prairie, Concord or Northwood. Everybody got treated the same way. If you come in on Monday and take Monday off, the kids know it. If you all of a sudden, hey, we're not going to go out in pads today, the kids know it. They watch film. They're not stupid. They know that they're better. But the job of a coach is to say, look, 21, Drew Elliott, you need to know where he lines up on every down because he's the guy that can beat you. And you focus on that all week long.
Now, those are thoughts from an adult. and he has obviously had some coaching experience with Scott Bovenkirk, but on the other side, high school students, who knows what's going through their head? Well, our very own Brady Gallo is one of those. Now, we're putting you on the higher echelon. Don't worry, Brady. We're not throwing you under the bus here, but with the Mishawaka Network tonight, glad to have you and your whole team here tonight, bringing the video back to so many Caveman fans. You and your thoughts on the Cavemen not looking past this Goshen club and building off last week's win.
No, absolutely not. Talking to some of the players this week, having them in some of my classes, there's been a little bit of concern that we're looking past this team. Everyone expects to win this game. We're a fantastic team. Goshen hasn't had as much success this year, but we need to come out ready to play, win those games we're supposed to win. In the NLC, you're going to have to play those games where you might be a little bit better than the opponent talent-wise, but they can always come and get you if you don't come ready to play. So we're really going to have to come out strong. We've done a great job of starting each game out strong, so let's just try to continue and do that tonight.
And one thing they can't do is look ahead to Plymouth next week or a couple of weeks down the road when Warsaw comes calling back here to Steel Stadium, and you can't scoreboard watch.
No, absolutely not.
Thoughts from Brady Gallo, Mishawaka Network. Hey, Brady, keep us updated throughout the night, and we'll check in with you after the first quarter.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, a great job as always, Brady Gallo down on the sidelines here with Scott Bovenkirk. I'm Brian Miller. Wrapping things up here on the pregame show. We'll have the starting lineups and kickoff after this. You're in two with Mishawaka K-Band football here on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network. The 31-yard line. Ethan Bryce on that kick return of about 10 yards. And Mishawaka will start with nice field position just underway here from Steel Stadium. They'll go 1st and 10. K-Men in their traditional home maroon on maroon. The maroon tops, maroon pants, white numerals, white helmets. Goshen on the road tonight. The Red Hawks there in the white jerseys, silver pants, red numerals, red and white helmets.
I'm loving the uniforms tonight, Brian.
Amen.
Loving them.
Amen. Nothing against the alternate grays that we saw.
But I like numbers I can read.
Well, that makes two of us. Brady Fisher nestles in behind center. Eddie Rodriguez at quarterback, and away we go. But just as we say that, now we have a stoppage in play, and Novell Miller has to come off the field. I'm not sure what the issue or problem is, but immediately Mishawaka is going to go to the depth chart and have to bring Will Mason in as the fullback now. So I'm not sure if there was an equipment malfunction or if he had some blood coming from him, but either way, Novell Miller taken out, and Ethan Bryce on the toss sweep left, scampers around the end and dashes forward to the 35-yard line for a short gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7, just underway, the first offensive snap of this football game.
Whatever it is, it's taken care of, and Novell Miller is back on the field.
Cavemen hope to continue their ways offensively, where they have averaged over 325 yards per game. In fact, they netted 386 yards last Friday at Northridge. On the season, the Cavemen have rushed for 10 touchdowns, run for 810 yards, while passed for 166. Of course, their offense is fullback first, quarterback second, and they're going to run in the flexbone offense. And it is a fullback blast right up the middle. A very short stint on the sidelines for Novell Miller as he checks back in and immediately gets the football and surges straight up the gut between the tackles for a first down and more past the 40 up to the 38-yard line. A K-Band first down brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. Good to see Novell Miller with a very short stint on the sideline.
One of the problems we talked about Goshen's lack of depth. They are also starting a freshman at nose.
That is Wyatt Cooper.
This is not a good offense to get your first start at nose guard.
2 wide outs, crisscross the backs, the scissors play, it comes to the halfback, big hole, Bryce right up the middle, 40, 30, 20, and tripped up from behind around the 15-yard line. Ethan Bryce with a huge gaping hole out over the middle as they crisscross the halfbacks, faking one way to Caden Smith, but it was all Ethan Bryce to the races, and that's a huge gain. And they will mark him with forward progress down at the 16-yard line.
43 yards on the run.
That's a good way to start your night offensively. If you're Ethan Bryce, who also had the kick return, and don't forget he started this season off back on opening night with an 82-yard kickoff return to begin the football game against Marion. That seemed like forever ago.
Yeah.
Although it is week number 4.
It goes fast, though.
Fisher will send his man in motion, inside handoff, fullback left. Novell Miller blasts off left tackle, pushes it forward past the 10, down to the 8. Speaking of tackles and guards and centers, that offensive line that's getting better week by week by week. And that offense, the triple option. Eddie Rodriguez is at center, 5'10", 225-pound senior. The guards, the Big E, Ethan Williams, 6'3", 300-pound senior, and Matt Willis, 5'11", 250-pound senior. On the offensive tackle positions, Carmine Orozco and Aiden Brooks. Brooks, the 5'11", 220-pound senior. Orozco, a junior, 6'4", 275, and he's getting some interest from some very, very good Division I programs. Came in on the march, 2nd and 3 after that 7-yard pickup by Miller. Between the hash marks, Fisher on the keeper and dives forward and up to the end zone and in the end zone for a Mishawaka K-Man touchdown. A couple of great fakes there by Brady Fisher. And I'll be honest, I lost the ball for a moment or so, but Fisher on the gallop. And the K-Man dent the scoreboard first. They lead it 6-0.
Second option in the triple option to the left. Good fake with the fullback. And then he kind of picked and chose his way. It wasn't a big hole that he darted through, but he took his time, had his patience, let his block set up, and walked into the end zone.
Point after conversion now for Lucas Larson, who is 6 for 6 on, or check that, 9 for 9 on the season. And he lines this one up and puts the toe to it. Up and good. Out of the hold of Isaiah Butte. Cavemen add another point. Time out of the field. 9:20 just underway here in our opening period. 7-0 our score. Mishawaka with Goshen to receive the ensuing kickoff. We'll be back. You're in 2 with Mishawaka K-Band football on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network.
Hello, Mishawaka fans. This is Superintendent Stevens here to tell you about our Mishawaka Parent Group. The MPG has the purpose of promoting partnerships with parents, teachers, school administration, and the community to enhance the educational environment for Mishawaka schools. Our parent group partners with Mishawaka Athletics to put on elementary sports, and they're always looking for volunteers to help with high school football game concessions. If you'd like to join or volunteer, feel free to email mishawakaparentgroup@gmail.com.
Community, collaboration, teamwork. This is what local means to TLCU Financial. In our community, everyone plays a part, and we're here to play ours. As a credit union, it's what we do. Welcome to TLCU Financial and bank like a local.
Offensive performance last week of the win at Northridge.
To become a member, visit us at tlcufinancial.org or stop in at our Mishawaka branch across from John Young Middle School.
Not quite as long a drive
Your
as they
credit
would like,
union,
but the
your
result
way.
is good.
High, deep kick fielded by Elliott at the 10, up to the 15. Scatters a couple of blockers out front, and then finally shuffle steps out to the left-hand side past the 25 to the 27-yard line. Elliott's return will set things up for Goshen. 1st and 10. So 9:12 to go here in this opening period of play, but that Mishawaka drive, 5 plays, 69 yards. And we were kind of used to those 11 plays, 19 plays, 13 plays, 9-play drives last week. But certainly a big part of that setup, or that score rather, was an Ethan Bryce run that really set Mishawaka up in excellent field position and knocking on the door very early in their opening possession. Freshman Carter Diaz getting the look at quarterback here tonight. Diaz straight back, and he will get a heavy rush, and he'll be blitzed, and he'll be sacked by Keith Shiko and the Mishawaka Cavemen. The offensive line was no match for the front 3-4-4 defense of the Mishawaka Cavemen. Keith Shiko had a great ball game a couple of weeks ago here against Mishawaka Marion, gets the sack. John Cohen getting the start at nose tackle tonight. Trey Dunning in on that defense. Jason Martin, some names you'll hear up on that front defensive line for the Cavemen. Linebackers, they've been very strong. Ken Clemente, also Xavier Juarez, Camden Putz, and Mishawaka leading defensive tackler Jackson Snyder with 35 tackles, 26 of those solo style, and the Red Hawks will keep the football on the ground and push it forward for a very short game. Drew Elliott, who's the workhorse of this offense, had 176 yards last week against Wawasee, 327 yards on the season, averages 8 yards per carry. He comes up.
Well, the sack put him behind the chains to begin with, Brian. You don't want to be 2nd and 17 against this Mishawaka defense.
Well, 3rd and 13 is not much better, but now the Red Hawks with a huddle down are going to try to come up with a big play here on 3rd down. And again, their opening possession in the early stages of quarter number 1. Mishawaka leading Goshen 7-0. Shotgun formation, Diaz straight back drop, and then he immediately tries to go into a quarterback draw type run, and he's getting pressure from left, right, center, and all sides included. And in there defensively for the Cavemen, John Cohen, and also Trey Thomas from the secondary.
2nd sack already of the night, and Mishawaka lined up in man coverage, which lets you know that, hey, they're bringing a lot of folk, and they did. They just outnumbered Goshen at the point of attack, and another loss of about 3 yards, so we're back to 4th and 17.
They'll mark the football right around the 21-yard line. Rolling snap to the punter. Elliott boots a knuckleball that will sail into Mishawaka territory, take a bounce to the 40, and uncontested roll back just inside the 30-yard line. So Mishawaka holding the Red Hawks and certainly giving them some pressuristic defensive looks. They were really coming after the quarterback and testing the freshman Carter Diaz.
48-yard punt, no return.
So Mishawaka will go to work leading this football game 7-0. They're 2-1 on the season, hoping to go 2-0 in the early stages of this Northern Lakes Conference season. So they are tied in first place right now with Northwood,
Flag
who was
was
victorious
just,
last week.
Brian, a flag was just dropped at the point of attack, and they're walking back another 15 yards. So Mishawaka
Somebody said something.
Penalized 15 yards.
Personal foul against the Cavemen.
I'm not sure what for.
First down at 16.
So they'll march it back from that 31 back to around the 16-yard line. Still setting it up, though, 1st and 10. Although the down marker across the way says 4th down and now hold everything, as the chain gang is having an issue and they're trying to get things untangled over there. That gives us an opportunity to restart our conversation about Northern Lakes Conference standings with Northwood, Warsaw, Mishawaka, and Wawasee all winning last week. They enter week number 2 in the league season, week number 4 overall at 1-0, while Concord, Northridge, Plymouth, and Goshen looking for their first wins of the conference season tonight. And the Cavemen go with the offensive attack, and again, it is Jack Troyer, although they keep it on the ground, but Jack Troyer gets his first carry of the season. And coming from the halfback spot, splits it outside and picks up about half an 80 yards, gain of about 5 to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5 at the 6:33 mark as Troyer went out of bounds, does stop the clock, and Mishawaka continues their march. Again, they will go in this first quarter from right to left and or shooting from the south to north side. Quick drop. Near side screen. Caught by Ethan Bryce. Shake and make move. Shakes off the defender. Runs forward past the 25 to the 30. And a K-man first down. Good move by Ethan Bryce. The little shake and bake move picks him up the first down. Brought to you by Kevin Putz, the First Midwest Mortgage.
Yeah, just a little bubble screen out here to a wide receiver. Got a good block. And as you said, had one man to beat. Did that for a nice pickup of about 8 yards.
Ethan Bryce coming up with some big plays here in the early going for Mishawaka. And now checking their wristbands and wrist coaches. Brady Fisher chewing up some of that play clock, down under 10, now down to 7. Has a quick conversation with his backfield mate, Novell Miller, and he will give it to Miller, who will surge up the middle. Big hole to the 40, to the 50. See you bye. To the 40, to the 30, down to the 20, down to the 10. One more time. Touchdown, touchdown, Mishawaka.
71 yards.
He was shot out of a cannon, and I know we used that as a description last week, but what a burst from the minute he touched the football. Norvell Miller with his 6th touchdown of the season, and Mishawaka surges on top 13-0.
That was the outside veer, Brian. They run inside veer, outside veer, midline, but that was the outside veer, and that opened up very, very nicely.
Isaiah Butte again will hold for Lucas Larson for the point after conversion. Good snap, good hold, kick has the distance, and the kick is good. Time out of the field, 5:56 to go in our opening frame here from Steel Stadium. Early start, great for the Cavemen. 2 for 2 in possessions, 2 for 2 in touchdown tries. Mishawaka 14, Goshen no score. You're in tune with Caveman football on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network.
Hello, Cavemen. It's Dr. Joe Winek with Winek Family Orthodontics. I'm excited to be a part of the Cavemen athletic season. Our office offers Invisalign and braces for both children and adults. Call us for your complimentary consultation today. We take our business seriously, but our ultimate goal is to put a smile on your face.
Slide what now? Slide. Bring it up now. Bring it back now. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up now.
For more information, visit our website at www.winekfamilyortho.com.
A couple of updates for you on the U.S. Sidecrafters scoreboard. Another Northern Lakes Conference play. Both on the home field. Northwood and Wawasee have early 7-0 leads. Northwood leading Northridge and Wawasee leading Plymouth. The kick by Lucas Larson is a high floater fielded on the run by Goshen at the 15. Up to the 20-25, and Elliott brings it back past the 30 to the 31-yard line. Mr. Everything, Drew Elliott on that kick return for Goshen. Again, they will start with good field position, but needed an answer to the K-Bend 2 scores. Mishawaka with an early dominant type performance with a 14-0 advantage.
First down, Red Hawks. Their own 31.
So Mishawaka with that exploding touchdown run by Novell Miller of 71 yards. Extra point by Larson made it 14-zip, but just a 3-play, 84-yard possession and an 84-yard drive. Shotgun formation. Diaz flanked by halfbacks on each side. And the run off left side basically turns into nothing. Carter Diaz, a freshman. And we were given one number, and we see Diaz actually wearing a different one, wearing number 20. So I apologize for some quick confusion there. Nothing like getting a roster with different number changes.
Well, he wasn't even on the original roster.
That is true.
Because he's a freshman, so I don't know if... Yeah, this is Carter Diaz as number 20 on this roster. So you're right. We were given 13. He is 20.
He will now clap the hands, take the shotgun snap. He will fake the fullback handoff and keep it himself and surge forward for a nice run after losing a couple on the opening play and setting up a 2nd and 12 play. This one goes for about 4, maybe 5 yards to push it back up close to the 35-yard line, where now Goshen will face 3rd and long. 3rd down and 7. We're at the 4:35 mark in our opening frame. Up front for the Red Hawks, Sam Vargas starts at center. Hampton Rivera and Aiden Ellison are the guards. Hampton Rivera, a senior. Aiden Ellison, a sophomore. Aaron Engelmeyer, one of the other offensive linemen. And they've had some other shuffling in on that left side. Quick drop, shotgun snap goes, and the catch out of the backfield is bobbled and lost, incomplete. Intended there for Evan Wagner from the backfield. He's one of the 2 running backs.
Brian, I think they're going to call it complete.
Oh my.
They called it complete and down, but on the play, he lost 3 yards on the completion. Just a little swing pass to the back, flaring out to the right. Caught it, immediately slipped and fell, and when he hit the ground, the ball came out. So a loss of 3 and another 4th down and long.
That was Evan Wagner's 5th catch of the season, but certainly now on a shotgun snap on 4th down and about 32, they opted fake a punt and simply just go for it, hoping for maybe a defensive breakdown and Cole Hinkle a split out. Normal wide out and split end. He picked up some nice yardage, but not anywhere near what he needed for the first down. And on downs, Mishawaka will take over at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, picked up, give him 4 yards, 5 yards on the carry.
It seemed like a lot more because he was so deep in the backfield in punt formation.
And also, you're exactly right. It was 4th and a host. Wasn't going to pick that up. So, interesting call.
K-Ben with Drew Ginter and LaRon Kindred lined up as split ends. Back to pass, wide open over the middle. Ethan Bryce catches it at the 20, down to the 10, to the 5, touchdown, Mishawaka. One play, 36 yards, and Brady Fisher, he could not miss on that pass.
No.
Wide open.
Wide open.
Ethan Bryce, who had 4 touchdowns a year ago, picks up his first on the season, and Mishawaka surges on top. It's 20-0.
Well, last week we saw drives of 16, 19, 11. We've seen 3 drives of 5 plays, 3 plays, 1 play.
Ethan Williams will long snap it. Waiting for the hold is Isaiah Butte. Good snap, good hold. Heavy rush from the left side, but the kick by Lucas Larson is up, and it is good. Larson now 12 for 12 on the season, including 3 for 39. Time out of the field, 3:10 to go, first quarter. It's all K-Men. Mishawaka 21, Goshen no score. You're in tune with Mishawaka K-Men football on 96.1 The Ton.
Hi, I'm Nate Zolman. In 1963, my father, Bud Zolman, began working in the tire and automotive service industry. After many years of hard work and dedication, he and my mother, Diane, founded Zolman's Tire in 1978, 45 years ago. Today, we have 8 retail locations and 3 commercial truck, tire, and diesel locations. After all these years, Zolman's is still going strong, serving you and your family for 3 generations. Buy local, shop local. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto Care.
Back to Steel Stadium, and if you maybe stepped out for a half a minute to go pick up a pizza or warm up some leftovers from lunch or whatever the case is and step back, it was 7-0, it was 14-0, and now it's 21-0. The K-Men adding 2 scores here in basically less than 3 minutes, and a high bouncer fielded back by Elliott at the 12, up to the 15-20, up to the 25, and he's wrestled down just past the 25-yard line. That's where Goshen will start first and 10. We'll call it the 26 for the Redhawks. It is all Mishawaka. Brady Fisher, 8-yard touchdown run on the opening drive that took just 5 plays and 69 yards. Novell Miller on a 71-yard sprint and a touchdown. An extra point made it 14-zip, a 3-play drive at 5:56. And then literally less than 3 minutes later, Brady Fisher to Ethan Bryce after they took over on downs, holding Goshen after they tried a little gadget play. Not necessarily trickery, but certainly just went forward on the 4th and long instead of punting. They in punt formation ran the football, were held on downs, and Mishawaka took just 1 play to score from 38 yards away. Now, Redhawks with a little dumper in the backfield. Catch and run there by Elliott, and Elliott is upended after a short gain to around the 30-yard line.
Ran the speed option to the field. No fake to the back. It's just a pitch or keep. They pitched to Elliott, and he picked up about 4 yards, 3 yards, Colin.
So Carter Diaz, a freshman, starting at quarterback here tonight. They have had injuries to Elliott Fry, the starting quarterback, to Gustavo Gonzalez, an offensive lineman, and Ryan Eldridge, who is a 2-way offensive lineman at 6'7", 256, and a senior, a Ball State recruit. There's some talent in this program. Right now, they're just not on the field for Goshen, and now back to pass, letting it air out up for grabs, and the ball is deflected, intended down here in front of us for Anthony Longstreet on that long throw by Drew Elliott.
Yeah, we saw the halfback pass work for Mishawaka last week, right before the half. Going to try the halfback pass from Goshen, but well defended.
So 3rd and 7 on the incompleted pass. One thing for sure, we know this. Drew Elliott can throw the football. He's got a pretty good arm. He chucked that every bit of 40 yards.
Yeah, Drew Elliott coming into this series had only carried the ball twice in 8 plays, and
shotgun snap to Diaz, and he bobbled it, picked it up, and then sprinted out in a 9-1-1 emergency mode to the left and was hammered down for no gain on the play. In fact, maybe a loss of about a yard. They'll mark him right at the 30. Actually, they gave him a yard gain, but it'll be 4th and 6, and decision time or punting time here for Goshen.
Well, they punted the ball one time for 48 yards. It was clearly their best play of the night. But I think the coaching staff at Goshen realizes we can't stop them. Our best bet is to get a first down and keep their hands on the ball, whether we give them a field of 86 yards or 46.
Drew Elliott now in the shotgun snap, takes the one-step approach, pounds it away. Brady Newsome is back, and he will run away from the ball that sails over his head and rolls inside the 20, inside the 15, and down to around the 12-yard line. That is an excellent kick by Mr. Everything for Goshen High School, Drew Elliott, who is a linebacker on defense, running back. We saw him throw a pass, so he could be labeled as the quarterback. He's also a kick returner and punter. And at home games, I understand he takes tickets and sells popcorn as well.
Drives the bus. 58 yards on the punt.
Now, he does have a little bit of a breeze at his back. We've got a kind of a north-northwesterly breeze rolling through, and it's a very light breeze. It's kind of fluttering the flag down in the south end zone here at Steel Stadium. It is an incredibly pleasant night weather-wise, in particular with the sauna that we played in earlier just a couple of weeks ago. So a minute 12 here in this opening period. 21-0 Cavemen, and they will go fullback blast to Novell Miller. And Miller from the 11 surges forward to the 15 for a gain of about 4.
Brian, this is the 4th series for the Cavemen. There's still a minute to go in the first quarter. Sometimes we've played halves where we didn't get 4 drives.
Well, certainly Goshen has not had any luck offensively putting anything together, let alone a first down against the Cavemen. Fisher fakes it to the fullback, quarterback keeper, right up the middle. Brady passes 20, 25, still dragging people. 30, 35, needs a blocker, out of bounds. He's pushing the 42-yard line. Up the field, Kanan Smith leading the way along with Tim Kay, trying to help out with some extra blocking upfield after breaking through that initial and original line of scrimmage. But Brady Fisher on a 25-yard pickup. You can hear the excitement in the background by PA announcer and the happily retired Mike Bresky from his teaching career here for many years at Mishawaka. In fact, he is celebrating tonight along with several other members of the class of 1978 with their 45th reunion. So certainly the Cavemen football team doing their part here tonight. Fisher, kind of a broken play, turned on a delay, looking to give it to Novell Miller, and something broke down there. And Fisher just wisely held the football and got bottled up for a loss on the play, or maybe no gain. We'll see where they make forward progress. They'll say back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain. What will probably be the final play of our first quarter. So 12 action-packed minutes are in the book here from Steel Stadium in week number 4 of the high school football campaign. And Mishawaka looking impressive in this opening frame. They lead visiting Goshen. Cavemen 21, Goshen Redhawks no score. Second quarter play-by-play next. And when we come back, we'll check in with the Mishawaka Network's Brady Gallo for a sideline report. But first this, on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network.
Hi, I'm Nate Zolman. In 1963, my father, Bud Zolman, began working in the tire and automotive service industry. After many years of hard work and dedication, he and my mother, Diane, founded Zolman's Tire in 1978, 45 years ago. Today, we have 8 retail locations and 3 commercial truck, tire, and diesel locations. After all these years, Zolman's is still going strong, serving you and your family for 3 generations. Buy local, shop local. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto Care.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
Along with Scott Bovenkirk, I'm Brian Miller. Mishawaka 21, Goshen no score. And the Cavemen, as we switch sides, will switch from right to left, and now they'll go left to right. And from near midfield, Brady Fisher will hand it off. running off after the fake, running off to the left side and getting tripped up just past midfield for a gain of about 8 yards down on the sideline. I don't know, could you keep up with all the running? Because Brady Gallo, there was a whole lot of rushing offense in that opening first quarter. You saw lots of action.
Yeah, lots of running. I mean, it's like Mishawaka's playing on rookie mode down here. I mean, up and down the field, up and down the field. It's really hard to keep track. I saw Drew Ginter down here taking some snaps from under center, so maybe we get to see him tonight so we have in store for next year, Mishawaka.
Drew Ginter, of course, starting in the secondary early in the season, a sophomore.
Yep, he was looking pretty good, so hopefully we get a chance to see him tonight.
On the depth chart, we very well could see if the Cavemen can continue the dominance. Pass downfield. Speaking of Ginter, he's got the football on the long pass from Fisher, and Drew Ginter's going to go the distance. Touchdown, Mishawaka. 43-yard toss by Brady Fisher, and the Cavemen dent the scoreboard again. They lead it 27-0.
Ran a bootleg, faked the toss, going left. Fisher rolled to his right. He had the fullback in the flat. He had Ginter on the over route. Ginter was wide open. My biggest fear was that he was going to overthrow him, but he put the ball right on the money, picked up a key block, and went 49 yards for a touchdown.
Well, the Ginter family is celebrating down to our right here, and why not? Sophomore Drew Ginter with his first touchdown of his varsity career. Now a point after conversion. Lucas Larson with the kick out of the hold of Isaiah Butte, and it is up and it is good. Just underway in period number 2. All Cavemen. They lead Goshen 28-0 on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network.
Winning athletic teams often talk about their culture. Locally,
Bethel
University is committed to a positive culture through a faith-based approach for all their coaches and athletes. Bethel Athletic Director Tony Natale, please tell us more.
49.
Yeah, our culture is really very, very good right now here at Bethel University Athletics. We're excited to continue to stay Christ-centered in all we do, but our focus of everything is our student athletes. We want them to have the best possible athletic experience they can possibly have.
Competitive teams as well, but in addition, there's great diversity here at Bethel.
Yeah, we represent several of the states and several countries as well, as we have very good representation of our international kids on many, many of our teams.
Along with Scott Bovenkirk, I'm Brian Miller. We might need an abacus here before the night's done with all the yards and all the points, because Mishawaka has just tallied another score on a 5-play, 88-yard drive that wrapped up with the end of the first quarter and basically 2 plays into period number 2. And the kick now by Lucas Larson, fielded back on a back pedal at the 5, up to the 10. 15, 20, 25, 30, and a good return there by Goshen and Drew Elliott. It's like a one-man wrecking crew out there for the Redhawks. Brings it back past the 30 to the 33-yard line, where visiting Goshen will start 1st and 10. Brady Fisher connecting with sophomore Drew Ginter. And last year, Brady tossed for 4 touchdowns on the season. That is his second TD throw of the season so far here in week number 4. And now we have an official's timeout. Well, I can only imagine the bragging that will be going on in the Ginter household, because, well, little brother Drew and older brother Garrett G was a starting center last year for the Cavemen. Never had that opportunity to score a touchdown. Now, he might tell you he did. And I can say that. G's one of my followers on Twitter, so I can say that, and I'm sure I'll hear about it later.
All right.
Cavemen up 28-0, and now Goshen breaks their huddle. They will bring back the freshman quarterback, Carter Diaz, taking the snap, and as the play transpires, Drew Elliott with the football. Penalty flags down on the play.
Looks to me like Mishawaka is going to be called for encroachment.
5 yards.
I know we had our pregame conversation with Keith Kinder. Talked about expectations and talked about managing just some of the things you can control, and one of those is eliminating penalties and just mistakes.
Their second one tonight for 5 yards.
Had one earlier for 15 on an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty back early in that first quarter. Quickly, Evan Wagner and Drew Elliott break the huddle. Shotgun formation. Diaz takes a snap. Inside handoff to Elliott. And Elliott will surge forward and dive out past the 40 to the 42-yard line. Short of the first down with a nice run right up the gut. And is able to pick up enough yardage to now set the stage for second down and a very long one or a short two. Scoreboard says 2nd and 2, so we'll agree with them at 10:28 before halftime.
Goshen looking for their first down.
The Cavemen haven't had many first downs because their scoring plays have been on large chunks of real estate. 71 yards, 38 yards, and just moments ago a 49-yard touchdown pass. Shotgun snap. Diaz inside, little handoff to Clevenger, and Jason Clevenger will dive forward and very, very close to the first down for the 5'6" sophomore. He will be dropped right at the sticks and will pick up the first Goshen first down of the night. First down sponsored by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. First down Goshen at the 10-minute mark here before half, and again a 28-0 Mishawaka Caveman advantage.
Needed two, got two.
Nobody's asking you to do anything special. Just get the two we need and let's advance the chains. Cavemen next week will hit the road. Friday Night Lights experience down in Plymouth. It'll be the halfway point, believe it or not, of the regular season next Friday, week 5. Well, all the action right here if you're not there in person on 96.1 The Ton. Shotgun snap. Diaz on a 9-1-1 pitch near left side to Clevenger. And Clevenger caught it right around the face mask and then run it upfield and got pounded by Jackson Snyder and a few other maroon-cladded defenders for the Mishawaka Cavemen.
That's not the pitch relationship that you want. I mean, that was about a 2-yard pitch. You'd like to have 5x4.
Here, and, you take it. It was one of those things. Here.
It was somebody's not running the right track here.
So on that short gain of about 2, it'll be second down, 8 yards to go, 8:52, clock moving here in our second quarter. Mishawaka 28, Goshen no score is our tally. Shotgun snap, outside handoff. There goes Elliott, curls out to the right, then cuts back towards the middle and brings it past midfield up to around the 48-yard line, just about a yard shy, but a pickup of 7. A yard shy on 2nd and 8. Goes with 7. Will now face Goshen with a 3rd and 1 play as the Mishawaka defense giving up a little real estate for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Brian, you know, you could see with a Division I recruit in there at guard and a veteran quarterback, and then Elliott in the backfield, you could see where this could be an entirely different Goshen team. Injuries have just hurt them.
2 wideouts left. 1 wide out to the near side, and the inside handoff for the first down and more. It is Drew Elliott. Elliott, who again rushed 15 times for 176 yards last week in the Red Hawk loss to Wawasee, picks up another first down. They advance the chains. And again, our first downs tonight and all season long brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. A couple of updates for you on the U.S. Sidecrafters scoreboard. Other Northern Lakes Conference games. In the second quarter down in Napanee, Northwood and Northridge, they are even 7-7. And down in Syracuse, Wawasee with a 10-7 advantage, a 3-point lead on Plymouth, also in period number 2. Here it is 28-0 Mishawaka. Cavemen have been in the driver's seat pretty much this entire night. Low snap, inside handoff. Diaz to Elliott, and Elliott tries to get outside, but nothing happened there. But he does get a little bit of daylight, and picks up a yard or 2 on the play before he's met once again by the Will linebacker. That would be Jackson Snyder, the leading tackler for this K-Band club, who had a year ago 63 tackles, 53 of them that were solo tackles, along with 3 quarterback sacks and 7 tackles for loss. So far, coming off a 10 tackle performance last week, 10 solo tackles at Northridge. On the year, Jackson Snyder with 35 tackles coming in, 26 of those solo. along with 9 assists. He is having a great start to his junior season. 2nd and 7. Inside handoff. Again, it will go to Elliott. He'll sweep to the outside right, and he'll come very close to the first down, drop just shy of the 32-yard line. He'll be very close to the first down. They'll say he's about a yard, maybe a yard, half a yard or so shy. So the Red Hawks trying to gain a little momentum here and some respect here before the teams head to the locker room, down by 4 scores. But right now moving the football rather well here on their possession here mid-second quarter.
Yeah, and more importantly, they're keeping the ball out of the Cavemen's hand because they haven't been able to stop them at all.
No answers.
So this is I'd like to say it's good for the Goshen defense, but they're the same kids. They've got 8 kids going both ways. So.
Wide outs left and right, a slot to the left, inside handoff. Eben Wagner, the running back, and he will get the first down out past the 30 and surge forward for an extra yard or 2. They'll mark him at the 29-yard line, a gain of 2. And they'll advance the chains, brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. Coming up, our halftime report, sponsored by the Mishawaka Education Foundation. And they're looking forward later in October to hosting the annual Truck or Treat event here at Mishawaka High School. Details on that coming up in the upcoming weeks. We're going to look forward to partner with the Mishawaka Education Foundation and School City Mishawaka for that big event coming up again in October. 4 wideouts, 2 left, 2 right. Shotgun snap, inside handoff. Again, it is Drew Elliott. Elliott will blast up the middle. Has the first down. Outside to the 20, down to the 15, tiptoes the sidelines, and runs down to the end zone for a touchdown for the Goshen Red Hawks. 29-yard run.
Yep.
And the Red Hawks are on the board to make it 28-6.
A nifty run of 29 yards by Drew Elliott. Yeah, he's a football player.
Drew Elliott, 6'1", 205-pounder. And rushed the ball 38 times on the season coming in. He might end up running the ball 38 times tonight if they can get enough snaps to the football. So now the point after conversion upcoming. Aaron Munsithara.
Not going to get this off. Oh, they just reset the clock.
A right-footed soccer-style kicker will attempt the point after conversion. Waiting for the snap. Heavy rush. Ball is blocked right at the line of scrimmage. A surging blitz by the special teams, and Camden Putz coming up with the block. So Putz having a good night on the defensive side from his jack linebacker position. Comes up with the block PAT for some momentum for the Cavemen as they'll get the football back. 4:48 to play here in our first half. Second quarter score, Mishawaka 28, Goshen 6. We pause for this. You're in tune with Mishawaka Caveman football on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network. Back to Steel Stadium as the clouds have kind of separated and the setting sun off to our west that fortunately is over our back and left shoulder, and we're in the shade here in the press box, but right now a good chunk of the Goshen fans across the way are probably feeling like they're looking into a spotlight. All of a sudden the sun has appeared. Hey, better late than never, I guess. 4:48 to play here before half, and the Cavemen find their first break tonight in their defense and giving up not they gave up, Goshen earned a very hard earned drive and a little pooch kick on a back pedal. It is fielded there by Caden Smith, and no return on the fair catch, and Mishawaka will take over. But again, a very good drive there for Goshen to put their first down on the board for the night. But they had 3 in that drive, if memory serves, but also getting the 29-yard touchdown run by Drew Elliott, although the extra point was blocked by Mishawaka's Camden Putz. A little daylight as the sun came out, a little daylight for the Red Hawks.
Yeah, it was a drive that they needed. 4:46 to go in the half. What they really need is a stop defensively.
Brady Fisher will continue at quarterback, settling behind center Eddie Rodriguez. Send a man in motion, looks to the outside, but gives it off inside to the fullback Novell Miller, and he will do his blue-collar effort to surge up past the 30 to the 32-yard line for a short game of about 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. We're at the 4:30 mark here before halftime. Nice crowd on hand here tonight, and they're certainly enjoying an absolute perfect weather night. Drop back to pass, pump fake, Brady Fisher downfield, a running Trey Thomas catches it in stride. He's going to go down to the 30, to the 20-10, touchdown Mishawaka. 71-yard on the pump fake, and letting it fly is Brady Fisher, connecting once with Ethan Bryce, once with Drew Ginter, and now Trey Thomas gets into the act. Not as maybe dramatic as last week's catch right before halftime at Northridge, but how many times has Mishawaka thrown for 3 touchdowns in the first half? It has been a long time.
Well, ran a double move, ran a little hitch and go. Mishawaka's been throwing the hitch all year, not necessarily tonight, but faked the hitch and then took off, and just the Goshen defender had no chance.
And Colton Sutton had no chance to get back after he went on what he thought was the first movement. And it was an actual false start against the Cavemen. So Goshen, while their special team are coming around the left end looking for that point after conversion block, Cavemen called for the penalty of 5 yards, so they'll back it up. Still well in the range of Lucas Larson, who will attempt another point after conversion, where he is 4 for 4 tonight. Isaiah Butte will hold. Ethan Williams will long snap it. 34-6 Mishawaka, point after conversion now. Waiting, snap there, hold is there, kick has the distance, and the kick it is good. Lucas Larson, a perfect 5 for 5 tonight. Time out of the field, 4:13 to play here in our first half. Cavemen extend their lead. It's Mishawaka 35, Goshen 6. You're 2 with Mishawaka Caveman football on 96.1 The Time.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot.
Steel Stadium. It took just 35 seconds, and the Cavemen scoring a 2-play, 72-yard drive, and now the Lucas Larson point after, or the ensuing kick rather, fielded back at the 5-yard line and brought right back up center stage by Drew Elliott, and he is tripped up just past the 25. So a return of about 20 will set Goshen up with 4:06 to play here in this first half. With good field position, but Mishawaka, the dominant team here on the home turf, looking to go 2-0 in the Northern Lakes Conference season, and right now there is no question who's the better team here on this Friday night.
Yeah, right now Goshen is looking for things to build on. If they have another drive like they did the last time, kill a little clock, go in at halftime without having to turn the ball back to Mishawaka, who has struck early and often.
Gabe Janice and Anthony Longstreet are the receivers and wideouts, both left and right. Shotgun snap goes to the freshman quarterback, and the inside handoff to Drew Elliott. And Elliott tries to scamper to the outside, but he has his legs taken out underneath from him. Great defensive tackle there by the Cavemen. Did not see who actually had that tackle. Let's see, who was that? I believe Jason Martin from the defensive end position. And now a timeout taken on the field by Mishawaka. So the Cavemen want the football back, so they're going to circle the defensive wagons here to talk about things at 4 minutes to play before halftime. It's all Mishawaka. They lead at 35-6. We'll break for this timeout on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Birthday.
Happy birthday, Maddie.
There you go, Maddie. You got it. Some of us, we like to collect those, and they're more cherished the older we get. But happy belated birthday, Matt Embry. And he tells us that Warsaw has jumped out on top of Concord 7-0 down at Tigertown. Northwood has regained a lead on Northridge. They lead 14-10. Outside pitch, double team, triple team. Drew Elliott is bottled up by 4, 5, 6 different maroon jerseys. Bodies flying all over. And the Caveman defense was all over the quarterback pitch from Diaz to Elliott. And Elliott had no chance at all. Mike Bresky, the PA announcer in the background, telling us it was a loss of 5 on the play. So now third down, third and we'll call it 19 from the 19-yard line. And we're going to keep it right here as Mishawaka has burned yet another defensive timeout. But again on the U.S. Signcrafters scoreboard, second quarter down in Tigertown. Warsaw leads Concord 7-0. In Napanee, Northwood leads Northridge. That one's been back and forth. Panthers 14, Raiders 10. And down in Syracuse, Wawasee and Plymouth are all knotted up 10 and 10. Other games around the area tonight, we have in the Northern Indiana Conference, Mishawaka Marion at New Prairie. South Bend St. Joe's at John Adams. South Bend Clay is hosting South Bend Riley. Riley looking to go 4-0 on the season. Clay looking for their first win in seems like forever. Jimtown tonight home against the old Northern State Conference rival John Glenn Falcons. Hammond Morton takes the trip from the region to play Penn over at Everwise Freed Field. Elsewhere, Bremen is at Triton. Elkhart hits the road to Ohio to take Massillon Washington High School. South Bend Washington is on the road against Calumet, and a few games in the Duneland Conference, including LaPorte at Chesterton, Michigan City at Valparaiso, Portage at Maryville, and Crown Point at Lake Central. Matt Embry will keep us updated on those scores and more throughout the night. Diaz steps back, throws up a prayer right side. All kinds of bodies collided down on that little floater, and the intended receiver, Hinkle rather, got knocked around by a K-Man secondary player or two, and that'll be a penalty on the defense of Mishawaka.
Yeah, that's one of those balls that's thrown underneath. It's too short. The defender is going for the ball and runs into the receiver, and he gets called for the pass interference.
First down via the penalty, but our first down's brought to you by
not
Kevin
a first
Putz.
down in high school.
No?
Not a first down in high school. Nope. It's a 15-yard penalty, but not an automatic first down.
Because they needed about 24 on the play.
But it'll still be third down again.
Third and short this time, thanks to that penalty. Goshen in kind of a half huddle, and now they scatter, get to the line of scrimmage, wait for the shotgun snap. Diaz takes it, bobbles it, and just falls on it. And now instead of 3rd and 2, it'll be 4th and about 6. So the Redhawks just, when they thought maybe they'd get a break with that pass interference play that Cole Hinkle was able to draw. And And now Goshen will have to go for a little desperation there with 3:15 and counting before halftime. Mishawaka leading 35-6.
The nice thing here is that Elliott is also the punter, so they can keep their offense on the field.
And he will punt it with a one-step approach. High floater. Fair catch called for by Brady Newsom. And after Newsom caught the ball, there was some contact between he and Aiden Ellison, but not enough contact to draw any sort of penalty flag, although I do think Newsom was a bit surprised by the contact by the Goshen special teamers. So 2:53 to play here before halftime. And again, our Mishawaka Education halftime report coming up at the break. Certainly during that time, we'll check in downstairs with the Mishawaka Network's Brady Gallo. Done a fine job with our sideline reports throughout the season. Look forward to getting his thoughts, who will also catch up with Coach Keith Kinder at the end of the half and get his thoughts going into the third quarter for this Mishawaka K-Man football team. Brady Fisher takes a snap, rolls left, throws underneath. Cross is caught by Jack Troyer. Troyer run out of bounds right at the 40-yard line on a pickup of about 7. That's a tough throw, Bove. You're basically a right-hander going to your left and really working against your momentum, and had some defenders on his hip too.
Did a nice job of getting depth. A lot of times right-handers sprinting to their left don't want to get the depth, the bend. They got to run that little curve. Did a nice job.
Pass complete, makes it second down and 3. Now back to pass again. Brady Fisher throws it upfield, caught by Trey Thomas. Thomas hog-tied past midfield and run out of bounds at the 48-yard line. A first down on that reception by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. And Brady Fisher, the K-Men, Scott Bobekirk, do you think this is a test to see what can we do if we need to throw the ball?
Yeah, I mean, look, they've got the whole playbook that's open to them right now, and Keith has talked all year long about winning the last 4 minutes of the half, winning the first 4 minutes of the third. They're not going to let their foot up, take their foot off the gas right now.
Fisher pump fakes, throws downfield, and then throws it away incomplete.
Threw it away, and that is his first incompletion of the night.
Stops the clock at 2:30 to play here in period number 2. It's a very, very lengthy first half. As far as clock time, we are at 8 o'clock here. And normally by this point, we're getting ready to probably, if not already into our halftime report, we're into the third quarter some nights. A lot of scoring, a lot of offense, and lots of stoppage in plays. Inside fullback fake, outside handoff. It is Caden Smith, and Smith will sweep to the outside right with a blocker, Jack Troyer, out in front of him. And Caden Smith, who has rushed the ball 8 times for 40 yards on the season, picks up some nice yardage out to about the 45-yard line. Third down, 3rd and 6. Mishawaka, as the clock did stop as it went out of bounds at the 2:25 time mark. Here in period number 2, Cavemen leading 35-6. Jack Troyer in motion. Fisher and a penalty.
Looks like procedure against Mishawaka. Little movement on the offensive line.
So the officials and head referee Sean Jenkins marking off the real estate. The penalty did stop the clock at 2:23 to go in the half. And Mishawaka will reset things up now. 3rd down and 11. Inside handoff. They'll go right into the belly of the fullback, Novell Miller. And Novell Miller will just push people forward as he surges from the line of scrimmage and gains about 7 yards before Wyatt Cooper comes up with a stop. Wyatt Cooper, a freshman, 5'9", 240 pounds, playing both ways. It's unheard of to be a starting freshman in varsity football at many schools. But starting as a two-way player at a 5A school is something unique. Fake to the fullback. Brady Fisher will keep it. Well read by the Goshen defense, and Josiah Keplinger comes up with a stop.
No gain.
So the Cavemen are shut down on that third down play, and or on fourth down rather, and then now taking over on downs will be the Goshen Redhawks.
First stop tonight for the Goshen Redhawks with 1:46 to go in the half.
Be interesting to see how playing time gets rotated during the second half. Cavemen right now with Cohen, Martin, and Dunning, or actually Scheiko. Cohen, Scheiko, and Martin on the front three of their defensive look. Jack Troyer, Brady Newsom, Jaden Parker, Trey Thomas in that backfield. And a shotgun snap to the freshman Carter Diaz, and a false start on Goshen and on the Redhawks. I believe Clevenger jumped from his slot position. So the clock stops again with a penalty. Marches the football back to around the 38-yard line at the near left hash mark. Goshen going from right to left, looking towards the north end zone here at Steele Stadium. High shotgun snap, bobbled by Diaz, picks it up on a hop, turns and fires it upfield. It takes a hop into the hands of the intended receiver, but again, it bounced on the turf ever so slightly, thus it is incomplete. Intended for Cole Hinkle.
25, Cole Hinkle. Second.
Ball just skipped on the turf to call that incomplete.
I was surprised it was that close, Brian. After the muffed snap, Diaz was running for his life, kind of threw it sidearm.
Tell you what, I think he's a pretty good little athlete.
Yeah. The game goes so fast when you're a freshman.
5'7", 140 pounds, and again, just a ninth grader. Shotgun snap, and the inside handoff to Evan Wagner. And Wagner gets clobbered for no gain.
The ball carrier.
So it'll be third down.
53, John Cohen on a tackle.
John Cohen has made some fine improvement there. You can hear in the background credited with the tackle.
Goshen kind of runs a muddle huddle. They just hang around. They get their signal from the sideline, then they sprint up to the line. They're not a hurry-up offense, but they really don't huddle.
Play clock down to 7. Game clock at 53 seconds here before halftime. Inside handoff, 1, 2, and 3 hits to Drew Elliott, who got only to the line of scrimmage, and then he is hammered by a couple of K-Band defenders.
26, Jackson Snyder on a tackle.
Timeout Mishawaka, I think that's their third.
4th and 14.
Defensive coordinator Matt Lewinsky all fired up with that heavy hitting inside to shut down Drew Elliott for no gain. And upcoming is 4th down and 14. And Mishawaka calls a timeout. Meanwhile, one of the Goshen Redhawks, Hampton Rivera, 5'9" senior lineman playing both ways, hobbling off the field right now under the assistance of a couple of his teammates. And that is the last thing the Redhawks need at this point in time. It's Coach Tom Wogelman in his second year, trying to keep things as cohesive and as good as possible with his 0-3 start and just an incredibly banged up unit of Goshen Redhawk players. Meanwhile, for Mishawaka, the Cavemen, other than a couple of injuries, have been relatively healthy. Trevor Went, you recall, was injured in the Penn game, and his play has been quite limited since. Zach Moore with an injury did not start, not playing tonight. Addison Cannon with a knee injury. But for the most part, the Cavemen are all in pretty good shape from the health perspective. So after the timeout, Mishawaka taking that defensively, their final timeout of the half. Goshen still has all 3 of theirs remaining. Mishawaka 35-6, and now a quick kick. High snap, Drew Elliott angles it to the far right sideline. It takes a bounce around to 33 and rolls outside the 30 to the 29-yard line, where it is chased down by Goshen and Gabe Janice on the special teams run.
Drew Elliott's pass.
Another fine punt there by Drew Elliott.
34-yard punt. No return.
So Mishawaka will have the final snap. Now, you heard the words of wisdom, and you alluded to it a moment ago from Keith Kinder about winning the 8-minute stretch, the final 4 minutes of quarter 2 and the first 4 minutes of the second half and or quarter number 3.
Yeah, this is a tough one because you're already up 35-6. 35 points, you start getting the running clock. So one more score would get you the running clock in the second half. So this is going to be an interesting 37 seconds.
Brady Fisher back to pass to Trey Thomas, and the little hook and ladder dishes it to Jack Troyer, and Troyer run up the near sidelines to the 40, wrestled down around the 30-yard line. A great play. Trey Thomas with a little tip to Jack Troyer, and Troyer off to the races. Caught from behind by Goshen, but it's a first down sponsored by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. And then Brady Fisher will spike the football. Again, Mishawaka without any times out remaining. He will spike the football to stop the clock. He will kill first down. It'll now be 2nd and 10 from the Goshen 23-yard line. So certainly Kyle Shaw, the offensive coordinator, Coach Keith Kinder, and this Mishawaka coaching staff emptying the playbook here tonight.
Referee is trying to signal that he wants a certain time on the clock. 24 seconds is what we're going to go with.
So back under center is Brady Fisher. 2nd and 10, Caveman. Jack Troyer in motion, fakes a toss sweep left, curls back to the right, throws downfield, has a man. Trey Thomas slides in the end zone, catches it, touchdown Mishawaka. 23-yard scoring strike.
Yeah, now there's going to be a lot of people that are sitting in the stands saying, they're running it up on poor Goshen, they're running it up, and yeah, they are, but the magic number in high school football right now is 35. If you can get up by 35 points or more after the first half, the clock runs.
It's a continuous clock, basically, other than a timeout or an injury.
Or after a score.
And after the scores. Point after conversion for Lucas Larson. He will put the right foot to it, up and good. A good hold from Isaiah Butte. And the long snap there by Ethan Williams. Timeout, 19 seconds to go before half. Cavemen in the driver's seat. They lead Goshen 42-6. We're back after this on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Sarah Keene and Lily Schnapp, the Mishawaka dance team.
Keep fighting.
All the pretty girls stand up. All the pretty girls stand up. Pretty boys in the building. This right here is my swing. The girls are on it swinging. Everybody pay attention. This right here is my pretty boy swing.
You keep running. Say what you won't do.
Feeling crazy, well, that was the plan. Waiting for me, was you ready for this? He's the game sold up, no one's talking about Swiss. So yeah, I know you wanna fight it, but why would you try? We got them shaking everything from the willy to start. Yeah, this is a big man, why would you lie? Come on, 1, 2, 3, everybody.
Come on, voila. Cause you play Jay, yes, you get each
The Mishawaka dance team. Now, welcome back the marching cavemen. This year, we are bringing you the music of Two Fathers. First up tonight is Learn to Fly, followed by Times Like These. Carly Sanchez, is your band ready? Marching cavemen, take the field.
please direct your attention to the center of the track. Tonight, the Mishawaka High School Athletic Department commemorates the 50-year anniversary of the 1973 Cavemen football team. Here tonight are 8 senior members, cheerleader, manager, and coaches that helped to lead the 1973 edition of Cavemen football to a 9-1 record and ranked as high as 4th in the state coaches poll. This team defeated 3 teams that were ranked in the top 10 of state polls, including the eventual state champion Marion, Elkhart Central, and LaPorte. This being the first year of state playoffs, only 4 teams from each region of the 3 classes made it into the playoff format. South Bend, Washington represented this region. Here tonight, celebrating the achievements of the 1973 team are representing their late wife and cheerleader, Nancy Wilma, our husband, Mike Donsilovic, and daughter, Katie Steinmetz. Head manager, Rich Love. Assistant coach, defensive backs, Larry Stilson. Assistant coach, defensive line, and member of the MHS Athletic Hall of Fame, Al Smith. Head coach and a member of the Indiana High School Football Hall of Fame and MHS Athletic Hall of Fame, 83rd birthday boy, Bill Doba. Two deceased members, defensive back and 2-year letter winner, Jerry Cook. Running back, all conference, 3-year letter winner and member of the Mishawaka High School Athletic Hall of Fame, Mike Gavey. Players here this evening, defensive end and 2-year letter winner, Mike Coleman. Linebacker and 2-year letter winner, Scott Keene. Offensive lineman and 2-year letter winner, Jim Schrader. Offensive lineman and 2-year letter winner, Tim Hinton. Offensive lineman and 2-year letter winner, Gary Potts. Offensive lineman and 2-year letter winner, Larry Potts. Your quarterback, 2-year letter winner, also a member of the MHS Athletic Hall of Fame and the voice of Cavemen football, Mike Bresky. Wide receiver and 2-year letter winner, Wayne Troyla. We ask that you give these men and women a big Caveman round of applause for their contribution to the rich history of Caveman football. Go Cavemen! $50-50 raffle tickets, get them out. Pink 50-50 raffle tickets. Winning number 4016552. 401652, please meet at the south end of the press box for your winnings.
Because tonight they're also celebrating a 45th reunion for the class of 1978. And among the honorees here tonight, Mishawaka Hall of Famers Al Smith and Mishawaka Hall of Famer Bill Doba, who this is kind of the Bill Doba factor. He was a coach at Goshen in the late 60s, then was basically offered the job here at Mishawaka, took the football job, had a great career, here at Mishawaka High School, won 75 games during his career, and so much more. We'll touch on some of that a little bit later on in the broadcast, but at that point, for some unknown reason, the series then between Mishawaka and Goshen vanished for a long, long time, well till after the turn of the century. And since then, and obviously as members of the Northern Lakes Conference now, but interesting that we call it the Bill Doba Factory, or the Bill Doba Factor, rather. 42-6 is our tally. I'm keeping the bird's eye view here on Brady Gallo downstairs, and I know awaiting the arrival of head coach Keith Kinder for a comment or two from the locker room. Scott Bovenkirk, your thoughts here? 42-6. There really, truly was not much that went wrong for the Cavemen here.
Yeah, one drive that didn't end in a score, but the rest did. The amazing thing to me is I can't remember the last time when we said Mishawaka threw for 226 and rushed for 229 in a half.
Hey, let's head downstairs. Brady Gallo, the Mishawaka Network, standing by with Mishawaka coach Keith Kinder.
Coach, you had an explosive half offensively. You guys aired the ball out a little bit, more than normal. So is that something we can expect? Was that something that you guys planned, or is that something you guys kind of improvised, having that big lead?
Well, don't expect us to throw it a bunch every week. Just an opportunity to work on some other things and really limit the carries that 12 and 2 have in this half, just making sure that nothing silly happens in terms of a freak injury or anything like that, but also to work on the timing of some of our passing game. And it looked really good. You know, Brady threw the ball well, and you know, we're in a position where we got it to a running clock, and now we can get you know, our younger guys some time and hopefully get out of here and get some good dinner.
Always fun to play with the lead. Let's go finish this one.
All right, thoughts from Brady Gallo downstairs and Mishawaka head coach Keith Kinder. Certainly Scott Bovenkirk as a football coach, whether it's an arch rival game or a game maybe against a first-time opponent or maybe with a mismatch. That unfortunately tonight that is the case with 0-3 Goshen and the 2-1 Cavemen here. 42-6 our score at halftime with Mishawaka definitely in the driver's seat. Injuries are a part of the game, but if you can avoid those, and he talked about the contact and kind of the war that Novell Miller and Brady Fisher go through and all the hits that they take, trying to limit some of that here tonight. It's an interesting thought, but certainly one that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Novell Miller, he don't avoid people.
No, he does not.
He gets the ball, goes straight ahead. He's tackle to tackle, and even when he does not carry the ball, we're faking the ball to him. So he is getting hit on almost every play, and you know, I think it's good strategy. If right now Goshen is going to receive the second half kickoff, I don't know if Mishawaka will play their first team for a series or two in the third quarter. But I would say most of those guys are going to get the rest of the night off. With the clock running, that's a great advantage because, you know, even if you score, you're going to have to burn time off the clock.
Well, as you say that, right now down in front of us at the 50-yard line, you see several of the assistant coaches, Cody Shively, Joe Calderoni, Coach Buckman, among others, down with some of the regular starters and whatnot in the end zone. There are a lot of the second stringers and even some of the youngsters from the junior varsity team getting some reps, getting some extra warm-ups. So it's very possible we could see the second team.
And another conversation, Brian, that was going on is Tom Walgeman and Keith Kinder just met at midfield, and I'm sure they're talking about, hey, who are we going to play? I don't know about having enough kids for a JV game on Monday. All these things are factored in, but I'm sure he wanted to know, hey, just exactly who are you going to play in the second half?
And
you're going to put in your twos, I'm going to put in my twos, those kind of things.
And Bo, that's a tough call. That is a tough call in coaching when you're friends with an opposing coach, and you've got the upper hand, and you're in the driver's seat, and, the coaches sometimes say, hey, you play hard until the very, very end, or you keep the foot on the gas or whatever, and sometimes that blows up in your face. Sometimes that causes a lot of bad blood, and I think certainly Coach Kidner and Coach Wogelman are trying to avoid that here tonight with that very conversation.
I think Tom's been in enough games where he understands exactly what Keith did at the end of the first half to get the running clock going. The question now is with Goshen, if I play my young kids both the third quarter and fourth quarter, they only get to play 3 quarters at a JV game. So it may be you play your young kids. May have to play my old kids for a quarter.
Little squib kick fielded by the Red Hawks right around the 25-yard line, brought forward past the 30 up to the 35-yard line. Return there for Goshen by Cole Hinkle, and we will get things underway here in the second half. So it looks like the first team defense is heading back on the field, or at least a good chunk of it. So we will do our best to pick up some of the different numbers and names.
Goshen as an offense only had 78 yards total in the first half, 81 rushing, -3 passing.
Lucas Simons is lined up here as a cornerback to the near side. Well, the Cavemen definitely going to the bench a little bit. Shotgun snap. It'll be a wildcat to Elliott, and Elliott will take the snap from the backfield out past the 35 and run it upfield past the 40 to the 45 and pick up 10 yards. Or will they say 9.5? No, they'll say a 10-yard pickup for Drew Elliott. He's been the workhorse for this Goshen club and has their only score back late second quarter. Mishawaka leading here 42-6, so we will have a continuous running clock other than with a called timeout, with an injury, or with a score. Right now, freshman Carter Diaz, who was the starting quarterback, is out there, but that last snap went directly to Drew Elliott, kind of in a wildcat formation. And now you have Diaz lined up as a slot. The shotgun snap going right to Drew Elliott, and he will run it himself right up past the 50 into Mishawaka territory, dropped around the 48-yard line. So Mishawaka settling in on defense. They had the football to begin this football game, you might recall, and opened up with a 5-play, 69-yard drive that finished off with a Brady Fisher run of 8 yards. But after that, Fisher went Norvell Miller's way with a 71-yard run, and then 4 touchdown passes by Brady Fisher, Ethan Bryce, Drew Ginter, and twice to Trey Thomas to extend their lead and take them to the locker room up by 36. Little slant pass out to the right side. Pass is complete for the first down to Hinkle. Nice pass by Drew Elliott, who goes from what was the running back position to kind of like the wildcat quarterback right now. Cole Hinkle with the catch and run. First down brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. Goshen on the march. Looking to get back in this football game, but certainly just build some momentum as they look ahead in this high school football season. Next week, they will be at Northridge and take on the Raiders, while this Caveman club, again, will be on the road down at Plymouth.
Elliott threw one pass out of the halfback position in the first half, so he is 1 for 2.
And he's warmed up, too.
Now
4 wideouts, 2 left, 2 right.
Halfback.
He's back to the halfback, and he'll try to run off left tackle on the sweep. 3 and 4 maroon jerseys will track him down. Trey Dunning with one of the first bits of contact, and Isaiah Butte also checking in at the linebacker position in on the hit. That rush by Elliott gives him a 5-yard pickup. Second down and 5. Football between the hash marks at the Mishawaka 33-yard line. Hey, fans, remember, for some real crunch for your next tailgate party, pick up a bag of Jay's Crunchers potato chips at your favorite local grocery store. Jay's Crunchers and Jay's Potato Chips, a proud sponsor of high school sports here on the radio. At 96-1 the ton. Clevenger shifts from left to right, now goes on the hip of the Wildcat shotgun snap to running back becoming quarterback, Drew Elliott, and Elliott needed 5, got that and more for a gain of about 7, out to around the 27-yard line. So a first down as the chains advance, brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. With Scott Bovenkirk, I'm Brian Miller. Glad to have you with us here on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network. And I got to send a special birthday wish. I was actually threatened via text. I have the evidence. That I needed to wish Isaac Valdez a happy birthday. He's up at college, listening on the Mishawaka Network tonight. Isaac, hope things are going well, and happy birthday to you. I'm sure you're enjoying your day. And Cavemen are certainly having their way here with rival Goshen. Inside running play. Redhawks keep it inbounds. And as we unstack the bodies, it is Jazik Clevenger on the carry. And a pickup on the run. Takes it out to the 24-yard line. So second down, 2nd and 6 we'll call it after the 4-yard pickup. Redhawks in that very unconventional huddle. Kind of a gathering of bodies near the line of scrimmage. And,
it's a muddle huddle.
A muddle huddle.
Muddle huddle.
Clevenger the lone setback. Shotgun formation. That is Elliott. He'll take the snap, give it to Clevenger. Clevenger tries to slice to the outside left, and he's bottled up after a short gain of 1. It'll be 3rd down.
6, Jazik Clevenger, the ball carrier.
Well, Elliott carried the ball for the first 5 plays. Now Clevenger is carried for the last 2.
Kind of spreading the wealth just a little bit.
And with the running clock, we're under 6 minutes already.
Team on defense right now with Scheiko, Dunning, Martin, and John Cohen up on the front line. Shotgun snap out of the Wildcat. Elliott will run it himself, sweeps it out to the right. Oh, man, what a hit as he is dumped as he just cut around the side. And that was a mighty nifty tackle. I did not see who actually made the stop for the Cavemen, but whoever laid the leather out there, that was an impressive hit on Drew Elliott.
Elliott did pick up the first down.
Brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. 1st and 10 Redhawks. They trail with 5:02 to play 3rd quarter. They trail Mishawaka 42-6.
3rd first down in the drive.
Redhawks break their huddle. Single setback. That is Elliott. He'll get the shotgun snap, and then he'll just run it himself, looking for blockers. Runs up the field, past the 10, down to the 5. Angles to the left side, and touchdown for Goshen. Drew Elliott working hard on that 17-yard run. Using his blockers and using a really, really good football IQ to finding the right angle to the end zone. And the 17-yard gallop puts Goshen back on the board for the 2nd time tonight to make it 42-12.
And it would be very easy, Brian, to take a play or 2 off. When you're down 42-6, you're not going anywhere. It would be very easy to just say, well, protect yourself. But Elliott still played hard. I'm very, very impressed with that young man.
Point after conversion now for the Redhawks. Heavy rush. Kick is up. And the kick, it is up and good. So the point after conversion by Munzinthara will put Goshen on the scoreboard for their 13th point. 3:40 to play. The clock does stop as the score does take place. Timeout, 3:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Goshen with the touchdown makes it Mishawaka 42, Redhawks 13. We're back after this on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network. Steel Stadium. Scoreboard reads Cavemen in the driver's seat, 42-13. Goshen on that scoring drive, though. Trying to have a little momentum here in the second half. Finishing off with a Drew Elliott 17-yard touchdown.
3:40 to go in the third. I got too many sheets here. I'm used to just one sheet a night. I'm already on my second
I've
sheet.
had to go back to the cardboard backing on my extra long legal pad. The ensuing kick by Goshen into a fair catch. Caden Smith fields it. And again, no kick return. Somebody just woke the student body up. That or my hunch is there's been a lineup change that they're really excited about. Let's see. Keith Kinder's going to go to the depth chart. Yes, he is. Drew Ginter is going to come in and call the shots at quarterback. So an exciting time for that sophomore who also had his first varsity touchdown earlier tonight on the pass in the second quarter from Brady Fisher. But Brady's night is done, you would anticipate. And Mishawaka will go to work 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Ginter takes the snap. They'll go a fullback dive play. And right up center stage for a carry by Will Mason. Will Mason, a fan favorite. A 5'6", 140-pounder. Quite the wrestling standout as well. Plays some baseball.
I think it's safe to say that we probably won't see the ball thrown as much in the second half by Mishawaka.
Two receivers, one left, one right, one of which is Alex Dermody. Now man in motion. Ginter takes the snap, fakes it to the fullback. He'll quarterback keep it himself and follow his offensive line forward. And Ginter pushes it out to around the 39-yard line. Good offensive surge there from the line, and also by Tim Kay from the halfback position, helping block on the way up the field. And it'll be 3rd down and 1 now after the 5-yard pickup. So the Redhawks will go back to the drawing board and more so to the trainer's room to try and get some people healthy as they get ready for Northridge next week and try to snap what will be a 7-game overall losing streak encompassing the end of last year and so far the first 4 weeks of this year. Drew Ginter takes the snap, fakes to the fullback. He'll try to run it off left tackle. And there's a whole bunch of white jerseys and red helmets right there. Carson Francis was hoping to help out with some blocking, but there was pure numbers there. But guess what? Drew Ginter's forward progress gets him a 1st down. And the advance the chains brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. Maddox Coonley will check into the lineup for Mishawaka as well. Maddox lined up as a wide receiver. Zach Walsh in the lineup as well. So lots of young men getting opportunities here in this week 4 lopsided lead for Mishawaka. We're at 47 seconds, 3rd quarter. The Cavemen lead at 42-13. We've got a continuous running clock with a 35-point plus lead. And right up center stage, the handoff is Will Mason. Mason pushes it straight up the gut after the handoff from Ginter.
And all the grandmas and grandpas appreciate you calling out the names of their grandsons who are getting a shot here.
Well, if I recall, you and I broadcasted together a few years ago. We had a game similar to this, and I think you called it Keeping the Mamas Happy Night.
Keeping the Mamas Happy.
There
exactly.
you go. The final seconds of this 3rd quarter will tick down, and Mishawaka will opt not to take a snap. And we will go to the end of 3 with our score. Mishawaka 42, Goshen 13. 4th quarter's next. You stay tuned. This is Mishawaka Cavemen football on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network. We turn the page to quarter number 4, along with Scott Bobakirk. I'm Brian Miller in the K-Men on the first play of the fourth quarter. Toss sweep left. It is Tim K with a big opening on this left side. Takes it from the line of scrimmage from the 46, past midfield and all the way down inside the 30-yard line, where it'll be first and 10 K-Men. Thanks to Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. A very nifty run there by the Mishawaka senior. Number 8, Tim K, who rushed just 2 times so far on the season. Well, certainly some major output on that rushing play right there.
I got him for 28 yards.
Tim K on the carry. Drew Ginter, sophomore, continues at quarterback. Steps back from his offensive line. And certainly a shuffling of players in and out with the big lead, and many of the starters having the entire second half off. Ginter under center. Will take it and give it to the fullback. Big hole up the middle. It is Will Mason out past the 20 to the 15 and dropped just shy of the 10-yard line.
You notice all the youngsters huddling around their coaches.
Hey, Coach, I'm ready.
Coach, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I got my mouth guard. I got my helmet on.
Yeah, you got to love nights like this.
Especially if you're a Caveman diehard, no doubt. And also the 45th anniversary and reunion tour for the class of 78 in their football team. In fact, the quarterback is the guy you hear on the PA back here, all around Steel Stadium, the one and only Mike Bresky. Ginter under center. Single setback is Mason. Wide outs left, wide out right. Man in motion. Ginter will hand it away to Drew Mason, and he will surge straight forward and get dropped after a short gain of just a couple. Some really good pushing, though, by the Mishawaka offensive line. Among those are Darius Jones, a 5'8", 280-pound junior, wearing the number 74. Of course, worn proudly by Tanner Parmalee for a great career here at Mishawaka High School. Now going to school over in Fort Wayne. Ginter under center. Play clock down to 13. Game clock, which is a continuous running clock at 9:39 to play. Mishawaka leading 42-13. Ginter, man in motion, gives to Will Mason. Will Mason blows right up the middle. Tripped up inside the 5-yard line. Stops short of the goal line at the 2. So Will Mason, certainly when this night is over, I assure you, he will be on the phone with older brother Drew, telling him how he did it.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely. The all in the family
exactly
session, right? Ginter now will patiently walk up behind center. Play clock at 7 seconds. Caveman. First and goal, pitch out to the far left, and then running in the end zone. Tim K, the senior, in the end zone. Touchdown, Mishawaka. From the 2, first and goal to go, and the Caveman with the toss sweep. Ginter to K, and Mishawaka adds 6 more. They lead it 48-13.
That's a good drive. You know, you don't want to see Goshen come down and in the last 8 minutes score again. And then all of a sudden you say, you know what, that game was no, it wasn't. So this is a nice little score that the second team could run. Had a nice little drive of 9 plays, 70 yards.
Point after conversion attempted by Chase Hardy is no good. Blocked by the Red Hawks, and we go to timeout. 7:57 to play fourth quarter. Mishawaka with the Tim K score, lead him. Caveman 48, Goshen 13. You're in 2 with Mishawaka Caveman football, Northern Lakes Conference style on 96.1 The Ton and the Mishawaka Network. Mishawaka High School Marching Band in perfect tune tonight as their home team is up 48-13. Other scores around the area from the Northern Lakes Conference on the U.S. Signcrafters scoreboard. They're in the second half with Warsaw leading Concord 10-0. Northridge, Northwood duking it out down at Andrews Field in Napanee, and the host Panthers of Northwood lead the Raiders 21-10. That is late third quarter. And also in the second half, they're in the third quarter. Last score we had, Wawasee still leading Plymouth by a count of 13-10. Next week, we'll have the Cavemen on the road at Plymouth to take on the Rockies. Scott Bovenkirk and I will be on the road, taking the trip to Marshall County, and have the action for you on the radio at 96.1 The Ton. So Tim Kay on that last scoring drive, but hey, how about Will Mason? Some really good offense on that carry. Mishawaka now with the huge lead. Now they will kick it away, and this one by Chase Hardy is not necessarily in bounds, but I won't say how far out of bounds it was. It was kicked way out of bounds.
I think he was instructed to do that. Keith Kinder went out, talked to him, and pointed, I want this ball out of bounds. Once again, we don't want to get anybody hurt. We don't want to get somebody any cheap shots or anything at this point. Hey, let's just be clean and get out of here. So with 7:19 to go, Goshen gets the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 35.
See if Diaz will take the snaps at quarterback, or if we'll go back to see Drew Elliott there. Inside handoff, it will go to the running back. I believe Drew Elliott, but a new quarterback in taking snaps right now for the Redhawks is Glenn Woods.
Again, this goes back, Brian, I think, I'm not sure, but I think this has a lot to do with the JV and freshman games coming up. If you play in the fourth quarter of a varsity game, you still have 4 quarters of eligibility to play in a JV or freshman game.
Because you're basically given 5 quarters.
Exactly.
That was an adjustment to the rule that a few years ago, I think it was only allowing 4 quarters, wasn't it?
Well, what was happening was you weren't getting, nobody was having a JV game because of numbers, so they had to extend the opportunity. Kicking plays do not count as a down, so I can be the varsity punt returner and still not playing, have any plays count against me.
And it's kind of like in softball, baseball with your eligibility of number of games. You can pinch hit, you can courtesy run, pinch run, as long as you're not actually in the lineup or on the field defensively for time. Okay. Those innings or that game doesn't count against you. So Lee Carrington, a freshman, has had a couple of snaps, and now a snap to the new quarterback, hits the turf, loose ball on the ground. Glenn Woods lost it, and Mishawaka has recovered it. Caveman defense, they were like piranhas leaping to that football, and they come up with the loose ball.
Yeah, not a good exchange between the Goshen quarterback and the running back. No mesh, that's one of those read, react type plays, and the ball winds up in the ground. Mishawaka there to recover.
So the Cavemen recover the fumble, and it is sad to report that the number 55 was not on the rosters that we have. So lots of shuffling of people, lots of movement of individuals from the junior varsity and freshman teams up for this opportunity, with Mishawaka with 4:44 to play in the fourth quarter, up 48-13. And now they'll go back to work on offense. And they will go deeper into their depth chart and bring in Walker Hahn, I do believe, as the new quarterback.
Carson Francis was the ball carrier.
Francis on that gallop, on that right side sweep, picks up 8. And the Cavemen, patiently waiting from a play from the far side, or the near sideline rather, will bring it in.  Meyer brought that last play in. He's lined up as a wideout right. inside handoff on the fullback dive play. And Will Mason, who did a lot of the work to get the Cavemen in great scoring position earlier, got his number 22 called and pushes it past the 25 to the 24-yard line. But again, the Cavemen with their third quarterback of the night. Brady Fisher had a miraculous evening with a scoring touchdown and four touchdown passes. Then Drew Ginter in relief led them in his possession behind center to score. And now Walker Hahn, a 6 foot, 165-pound sophomore, is calling the shots and taking the snaps at quarterback, and they will go with the fullback right up the middle again. And Will Mason. I know Drew will be happy next time I see him that he got one more snap in his high school career, one more time to carry the ball. But Will Mason on the run, good for a short pickup. It'll be second down after the 4-yard gainer, second down and 6. Of course, the recent first down and all of our first downs tonight and all season long brought to you by Kevin Putz of First Midwest Mortgage. Cavemen working hard to get lined up properly. Wideouts left and right. Wingman now in motion. Snap and a penalty flag down on the play. Cavemen, of course, keeping the ball on the ground. The continuous running clock with his 48-13 lead, which went into effect in the second half after, on the final plays of the first half, Mishawaka extended the lead to 36 points going to the locker room. And we've played with a running clock this entire second half and nearing the 2-minute mark right now. But a penalty against Mishawaka marches it back and changes it now to a second down and 11 play.
This is where there's a lot of pressure on the position coaches, Brian. Getting the right guys in the right position.
Well, making sure you have 11
sure
and not 12 or 14
exactly.
or only 10 out there.
Exactly. This is where your JV coaches become invaluable.
Under center, Walker Hahn takes the snap. Fullback inside handoff to Will Mason, and Mason will surge forward to around the 23-yard line. Picking up about 3, maybe 4 on the play. Aiden Hernandez racing from the near sideline into the action to settle in as an offensive lineman. Josh Sandy re-enters the lineup. And we see from this near sideline, Braden Verlink getting his opportunity to touch the field. 59 seconds to play, under center. Play clock at 15. Walker Hahn's going to burn some of that up, which also burns up the play clock with his Cavemen leading 48-13. High toss sweep, bobble ball. Tim Kay, the intended pitch man, and the loose ball followed nicely by the quarterback, Walker Hahn, and I believe he saved the possession.
Pitch was a little high. Looked like they played volleyball back and forth with each other for a little bit.
It was a good set there by Kay.
It was.
It was a very good set. Loss on the play of yardage. 4th down and 9. And I do not believe Mishawaka is going to need to snap the football again. No, they are not.
They will not.
So an impressive showing by the Mishawaka Cavemen. A tough night for the visiting Goshen Redhawks. But here on this high school football Friday, week number 4 action, Mishawaka head coach Keith Kinder and Goshen head coach Tom Wogerman in his second season will shake hands and hoping all things in the proper perspective as this one is concluded. A great night of Indiana high school football here, and in particular if you're a Mishawaka K-Band fan. Final score, Mishawaka 48, Goshen 13. The Bull and I will return here with our postgame show coming up. We'll visit downstairs with our sideline report and our postgame report with the one and only Brady Gallo. He'll check in a little later on with head coach Keith Kinder and much, much more. And certainly stay tuned. We've got scores around the corner on the U.S. Signcrafter scoreboard, which we can tell you again. At last report, Warsaw led Concord 10-0 in the 4th. Northwood was up by a 21-10 count on Northridge in the 4th. And the last report, Wawasee Plymouth Warriors led the Pilgrims by a count of 13-10. That game was still in the 3rd quarter play. But here are our final, Mishawaka 48, Goshen 13. Stay tuned. The postgame show coming up next. You're in tune with Mishawaka K-Band football on 96.1 The Ton and around the world on the Mishawaka Network.
One the time.
Along with Scott Bovenkirk, I'm Brian Miller, back here to Steele Stadium. The Mishawaka Marching Band just concluding their rendition of the Caveman Fight Song and the school song here. And the Cavemen marched on to victory tonight as they defeated the likes of Goshen 48-13. A game that saw Mishawaka strike early, strike often. They dominated a very lengthy first quarter play, and they took care of business, and in this business, that's really what it's all about.
They did exactly what they wanted to. They didn't get anybody hurt. They scored on, I think, six of their 7 possessions in the first, all but one of their possessions in the first half. They didn't. Yeah, they did what they wanted. They threw the ball. It was kind of an opportunity for them to get a little live practice in, throwing the ball, which they may need later on down the year. You know, we always used to say Mishawaka struggles coming from behind because they're not a throwing team. Well, tonight they were 8 of 10 throwing with 4 touchdowns for 226 yards. That's not a bad night.
That is un-Mishawaka-like. I don't know if that's a proper term or not.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. So I think it was everything that Keith Kinder wanted to see tonight, they saw. We knew going in Goshen was an undermanned program right now. A lot of injuries, a lot of youth. So they took advantage of it.
I do think another thing is we talked in the fourth quarter in particular, the emptying of the bench, and I think just about every player in uniform tonight did see some time. I would be shocked if that was not the case. But I think on the other side of the coin, Mishawaka has to be mighty, mighty happy that athletic trainers Hannah Hess and Maddie Hain were not ever on the field tonight, at least that we knew of. And I'm sure they had some of their normal customers that they had to take care of and tend to and have attention towards, but we did not have any injury timeouts for either school here tonight, and that's certainly a good thing, in particular in a game of this type. Mishawaka winning 48-13. They scored on the opening possession on a 5-play, 69-yard drive that would finish with Brady Fisher on an 8-yard touchdown run. A Lucas Larson extra point got the Cavemen off and flying with a 7-0 lead. They would force Goshen to punt in their opening possession of the night. Then, at the 5:56 mark, wrapping up a 3-play, 84-yard drive, Norvell Miller exploded free right up the gut for a 71-yard sprint. Extra point by Lucas Larson was good, and they would extend the lead to 14-0. Cavemen were not done. In just 2 minutes later, after holding Goshen on a 4th down drive on their next possession, Brady Fisher would hook up on a 1-play drive to Ethan Bryce, a 30-yard connection. Or 38-yard connection, rather. That would make it 20, and the extra point would make it 21-0. That was at the 3:10 mark in period number 1. The Cavemen would go to the quarter break with a 21-0 lead, and they would continue their possession, linking over and continuing into the second quarter, and they would score on a 5-play 88-yard drive that again would bridge between the two quarters. That made it 28-0 on a 49-yard pass by Brady Fisher to Drew Ginter. Ginter's first touchdown of his career, and I can see Brady Gallo down on the sidelines, and he is getting ready to hook up with Coach Keith Kinder. And Brady, let's take it down to you and catch up with the coach.
Hey, congratulations, Coach. Fantastic game. You guys got to watch some of your younger players. How does that feel, just getting to see them on the big stage?
Well, it's really neat because they are the guys that are scout team players for the varsity starters. So, it's kind of neat when some certain guys get on the field and our kids are chanting their name. Just some really good moments for some kids that have put in the time and have earned the opportunity. JV games aren't the same as Friday night, so it's really neat that these guys got an opportunity to play under the lights.
Yeah, congratulations, Coach. See you at Plymouth.
All right, thanks a lot.
Brady Gallo had to be pretty exciting down on the sidelines there tonight. Any other thoughts as you're out there celebrating with some of your Caveman faithful? I think he's busy tending to his fan club down there, Bo. But some very simple thoughts from Keith Kinder. But when you think about it, a career for a high school football player, 2 years, 3 years, some are blessed to play varsity, maybe 4. That is a very slim number. It goes by when you've got 9 weeks. It goes by quickly, and playing time is a battle. Playing time is competitive, and the kids, in particular the seniors and the upperclassmen that have been around, they want to be on the field. But there's something special about being an upperclassman and seeing somebody who, quote unquote, you kind of beat up on a little bit in practice on the scout teams, or as a second or third stringer on the offensive line, or on the defense or special teams. To see them get out there in the spotlight, it is special.
Yeah. You want your older kids to be the mentor for the younger kids. You want them to show the right way, and it's kind of icing on the cake when they can step foot on the field and enjoy it. For some, let's be honest, Brian, for some kids, this is it. This is as far as they're going to go.
The majority of them are in that boat, yes.
So to be able to get on the field tonight with mommies and daddies and grandmas and grandpas watching, I think it's neat. I told you the first thing after a game like this, I'd walk out of the locker room and my wife would say, "Did everybody get in?" And I'm sure that's one of the questions that Keith's going to get when he gets home tonight. Did everybody get in? And I'm pretty sure the answer is yeah. The guys that we could play played. So it's tougher with the running clock, to get everybody in.
I made that comment to a few people here recently. Yes, I would agree with that. 48-13 the final score. Mishawaka, the Cavemen, improved to 3-1 on the season, 2-0 in the Northern Lakes Conference. The Red Hawks of Goshen on this road trip tonight, they fall to 0-4 on the season, 0-2 in the Northern Lakes. Although tonight, hang a star and tip your cap to Drew Elliott. He was Mr. Everything, who had 176 yards and a couple of touchdowns last week versus Wawasee. 6'1", 205-pound senior Drew Elliott was a leader on the defense, led the team in rushing tonight, was at quarterback off and on throughout the game, in particular for the majority of the second half of play. Drew Elliott scored one of 2 touchdowns tonight for his Red Hawk club. His first score, and their first score, snapped a 28-0 run by Mishawaka at the 4:48 mark before halftime. His 29-yard gallop made it 28-6, although Camden Putz spoiled the momentum for Goshen by blocking the extra point. Then Mishawaka would waste little time. Just roughly 35 seconds later, a 71-yard touchdown pass by Brady Fisher to Trey Thomas, the first of 2 to number 3 in the Caveman maroon jersey. Thomas's touchdown catch and the extra point by Lucas Larson on a 2-play 72-yard drive made it 35-6. Goshen on their next possession would be forced to punt. Mishawaka then would capitalize. They would go to the air trying to stretch that to a 35 or more point lead for that continuous clock. They got their wish at 19 seconds before halftime as the Cavemen would score on a 23-yard toss by Brady Fisher to Trey Thomas. 4 touchdown passes by Brady Fisher. It has been a long time since that's been the case. In fact, the 1978 class was celebrating time. That might have been the last time. Maybe Mike Bresky did it. Who knows? But what a night it was for the Cavemen. They went to the locker room in the driver's seat. They led the game 42-6. Goshen would add a score in the third quarter, 17-yard touchdown run by Drew Elliott. He had both of the Red Hawk scores tonight. That was the 3:40 mark in the third quarter. Again, the second half was played in an entire 2 quarters of a continuous running clock. Mishawaka would finish the scoring late fourth quarter at the 5:57 mark, to be exact, in the fourth, on a 2-yard touchdown run by senior Tim Kay, and that would be the ball game. Mishawaka winning here tonight, 48-13. Bove, any final thoughts as we wrap things up?
No, I think we've talked about it, Brian. This is exactly what the Cavemen needed. They're feeling good about themselves going on the road next week to Plymouth, and we look forward to being there.
We look forward to being there, and certainly hoping the Cavemen can continue their winning ways. And certainly a very proud tradition at Goshen High School with football. We wish Tom Rogelman and Coach Wogelman and that group the best as they try to bounce back from tonight's loss and this stretch where they have lost now 7 games in a row, 10 of their last 11, and hoping for a little magic here coming up a little later in the season. Certainly getting some of their players healthy, because they had some pretty good players on the sidelines tonight. Gonzalez, one of their offensive linemen, out for the entire season with an injury, and Ryan Eldridge, a 2-way lineman, a Ball State recruit, out here tonight. Elliott Fry, starting quarterback, a junior who had done a nice job in engineering the offense. He was injured in week number 2 and has been under the watchful eye of the trainer since then. So Goshen's got to try to get through this tough stretch, bounce back, and next week they will be on the road in Middlebury to take on the Northridge Raiders, who are in a pretty tough tussle tonight with Northwood down in Napanee, and as we mentioned, Mishawaka will be on the road at Plymouth next week on the Friday, the 15th of September. So we look forward to that. Fans, if you can't be there in person, join us here on the radio at 96.1 The Ton. So that's going to do it here for Brady Gallo from the Mishawaka Network, and to their entire staff on the video crew here tonight with Scott Bovenkirk. I'm Brian Miller, bidding you a very pleasant good night. A great night for high school football here in week number 4. Mishawaka wins it 48-13, as your home for Mishawaka Caveman football is right here on 96.1 The Ton. From Steel Stadium, Brian Miller, the voice of the Caveman, bidding you a very pleasant good night.